The snow is pretty.
It is. It is. And when I was a strictly stay-at-home mom,
Mhm.
love the snow. Like, the winter is my favorite time of the year,
Mm.
and when I didn't have to go out in it, okay,
Mhm. It was
and
different.
it was different, but now I
Yeah.
gotta be outside and I'd be like, "Oh my god, why did I do this to myself?"
Oh, no,
So
I had the same thought. I, like, gave myself enough time to go to Hobby Lobby,
mm.
uh, 'cause I've been doing, this you'll appreciate, I'm laughing, but I've been doing budget enveloping. I'm
Oh,
only laughing because there's very few people who could appreciate my new my new budgeting strategy, but I've been doing, budget enveloping, and then I realized that, I can't be walking around with all this money on me at all times. So I'm wanna get another because 'cause they're in binders, so I wanna get another binder that stays at home.
mm, okay.
So, like, my big, big expenses, and then move on from there. But, alright, we are gonna oh, there we go. Alright.
I'm dead.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of basically unbothered at night in a semi-snow sleet storm.
Here's say your intro is, top tier. It's,
Thank
like,
you.
dramatic, but,
Uh-huh.
I also like the music in the background.
Thank you. I created it myself, so I I appreciate it. That's one of the things that people don't notice about, like, small creators or, independent people is that a lot of the stuff they do soloed.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. But, um, I wanted to introduce you unbothered fans to our next guest this week. Our guest is Kellen. Do you wanna introduce yourself? Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Um, so my name is Kellen Pilot. I own a company called Pilot Management Group, and I'm a weird person that loves accounting and tax law. In my mind, I refer to myself as like your friendly neighborhood accountant. Like that's how I refer to myself in my mind. And that's kind of the approach that I have when I talk to people about things.
Mhm,
I love math and accounting law and like the quirks of it, but I understand that to most people it's intimidating and it's scary. And so I kind of have based my life around trying to demystify things and
mhm.
make the topic not scary, not stressful. It's a fact of life. It's just something that kind of has to happen. And so I try to present it to people in a, I won't say fun because nobody thinks it's fun and interesting but me, but approachable.
Say that. I mean, I think that you just have to make your own fun. Like we were talking about, like the budget envelopes. I think that that's fun. I'm loving it. To me, being like, okay, this is going to go here and this is going to go, it gives me like the best organizational kick. But I do know other accountants and I know people look at accounting and they're like, oh, that's such a boring, normal profession. But, when we talked before on the podcast,
It's a dying profession.
it's a what?
The dying profession.
Do you think so?
Oh, I know so. It's a dying
Mm,
profession because I think the thing, and I realized this when I was studying it in school.
mhm,
You either love it or
mhm,
it's something that you did because you thought it would be a steady job. And it's to me, it's not something that people can do for long term
mhm,
that don't love it. They don't find it interesting. And so
mhm,
people who went into it like, oh, this is a good steady job to have, they hate it and they get burnt out and they quit. And so like there's a big thing in the accounting industry right now is that like there are not enough people studying to become accountants to replace
mhm.
all the people that are retiring. Like there is a very large gap.
Do you have to take statistics to become an accountant?
No.
Well, then I could do it. I've actually passed statistics, by the way. I just hated it. I I had to take it
Yeah, I don't
twice.
think no, I don't remember taking statistics.
No, believe it or not, you have to take statistics as a psychology major.
I can see that. That kinda
It
That kinda
goes
makes sense to me.
it coincides. The problem was so originally I was taking a psych statistics, which I was excited about because it's a statistics for psychology majors. So like it made more sense. And then my grandfather passed away and ended up leaving. I was in California, leaving California and moving back to Michigan. And then I lived in St. Thomas for a year and I took statistics there. I don't know how I passed that class. We had the worst teacher ever. I don't know, maybe like my psych stats teacher was amazing, but I've heard this from a lot of people that their stats teachers were just like not the business.
Mm. Yeah.
So then my credits didn't transfer over from I went to University of the Virgin Islands.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever it's actually like a HBCU. It's beautiful. Long, long, long time ago when College Hill existed, it was on College Hill.
Mhm.
But then I had to take it again because it didn't transfer over when I moved back to Michigan.
That's
And that
always
was
the worst.
the most stressful class ever. But I love math. I love math.
I think yeah, I think you either love math or you love writing, but it
I
normally
love
doesn't
both.
overlap.
I'm so weird. I love both. I
Oh, really?
love it's like writing is a form of expression, right? Well, I'm also type A and type B, which is also kind of rare. And
Mm,
I'm also like a ambivert, which means I'm introverted and extroverted, which is also not as rare, but still kind of rare. I love both because I love writing and I love being able to get my expressions out and I'm a very free-spirited person. But the
mhm.
only way I can be free-spirited is if I have order.
Okay.
And so math is like when everything feels so chaotic in my life, math is 1 plus 1 is 2. It's something that always has a solution, you know what I mean? Most of the time. We're not getting into what is it, like, theoretical math?
Yeah, that's different. Mhm.
That's a
That's,
little
I would consider that to be a science, more so than like a real math because does it really have that many practical applications? No. Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost kind of like a pseudoscience, what people call psychology, which I get, it's fair.
Yeah. So like from like me, my original major was advertising actually,
Mm,
and had to take accounting 101 as a prereq. Fell in love
mhm.
and just stuck through it. So like I took every accounting and tax class that Wayne State offered to the point that to graduate, I had to take yoga and pay graduate level prices because I just needed credit hours to graduate.
Do you still practice yoga?
I should. There's a lot of things I should do, but look, between these business and these kids and the nonprofit and my husband, I ain't got time for that. I tell
No.
myself all the time I'm gonna get back into it.
I was searching because I wanted to get into reformer Pilates,
Mhm,
and I found this thing called ClassPass.
mhm.
By the way, they're not paying me. I'm not at this level. I just really like ClassPass, but I found this thing called ClassPass and it was like a free month. The membership starts at like $60 a month and you book classes and it's way cheaper than booking like a class at a studio.
Okay,
And it's helped me a lot get back into doing the thing.
I'll have to check that out. So
I've been enjoying it. I
I
just
have a Pilates reformer in my basement.
Do you? But at one point in time, you loved the, like, act of.
Yeah, it's just my basement is creepy, and so it is. The basement is creepy. It's full of junk.
Mhm,
I shouldn't even say junk. It's not junk. It's a lot of stuff. It's a real basement. It's not for show. And they was just like, I don't want to be down here with the spiders.
mhm,
And then like around holidays, that's where we put all like gifts and stuff because our kids won't go in our basement. And
mhm.
so then it's like piled up with stuff. And I am I don't want to say a hoarder. It's not that. My basement looks like I'm like one of those like off the grid preppers.
Mhm.
That's what our basement looks like.
You got a whole bunch of stuff but they have purpose.
But yeah, like I have 2 deep freezers and an extra refrigerator. And then I buy everything in bulk. Like, I can and can very well,
Oh.
and, like, stuff like that. So, yeah, our basement is a little it's a little out of hand, and it was just like, "Yeah, that this is not the vibe."
Well, now I know when, the technological apocalypse happens, whose house I'm going to.
People tell me that all the time. They're like,
Mm.
"We're coming to your house." I'm like, "Don't come over here."
I'm coming to you because I fully believe it's gonna happen. I also don't like basements, though. I had a house, and I never went in my house's basement, and I don't even know where my turn off valve is in my water. And my basement was a real basement. It's like a real Michigan basement, and it had a crawl space, so it's half crawl space, half base. I hated it. I even like I could probably spend up to an hour in someone's basement, like if they've kind of done it up a little bit, maybe more if they fully refinished it. But there's just an energy in a basement that I just can't. There's something there that I'm just not. It's just
It's not that bad. It's not that bad, but so I live in Boston Edison. So
mhm.
my house, 115 years old, give or take.
Mine was 120.
And so, like, and we have a full basement and we have crawl spaces and it's like it's kind of
Mhm,
where things go to die on top of like all my like food and stuff. So like I I love a project. And
mhm,
so I had a new handrail meal to look like because we did some work on our house and we turned that area into a bathroom because there was no bathroom on our first floor. And
mhm,
so the banister for the steps, I wanted to turn into the handrail, but it wasn't big enough. So then I
mhm.
went to it's a place called Public Lumber, and I took them a piece of the original banister and they remade me a whole thing that was made from like the original type of wood. It had all the engravings, all of that. It's been in my basement for my baby's
Oh,
maybe 9 years. And
aw.
like all I have to do is cut the miters for the corners and stay
Mhm.
there. It's in the basement. It's in the crawl space. Mhm.
That's the your 2026 goal. She like,
Maybe
"Nah,
2027.
it's not that." Do you set
2026, I'm gonna work on the outside.
That's hilarious. Do you set, like, New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals?
I set the accountant in me, I set like financial goals or
Mhm,
like what I would like the year to look like. But as far
mhm.
as like outside of that, not really. Not really. Um, most are because it's just never occurred to me to do it.
I I used to get so excited. I love a new give me something new in general. It's probably the neurodivergent in me. I love a new beginning. I love, like, something to set an intention for, but I'm thinking, I love all things, like, spiritual and astrological and things like that, and in that sphere, when we're in this time of year, it's actually not the time to set new intentions. It's supposed to be like the time to rest and
Mhm.
reevaluate and reset so you can start like building, but you're supposed to kind of like manifesting or setting intentions is not. So I'm this year I'm not doing anything until spring.
Mm.
I
Okay.
also don't like the term I don't resolution just means that you're gonna fail. There's, like, a study that almost nobody continues their New Year's resolutions, and it's not fair. Look what it looks like outside right now. If your resolution was to go to the gym, that's not happening.
Yeah,
There's no way.
I think the new year should start in the spring anyway.
Yeah,
You know, like, I
yeah,
don't know
having a
because
year
according to
start
calendar
in
what's the move, but here we are. So,
I'm already over it. But, let's get into some pop culture and our pop culture roundup. If rest is something you're learning, not mastering, Pure Tifa Cafe was made for you. Books by indie authors, hand blended teas, candles, and rituals you can take home with you. It's a bookstore, a holistic self care space built for soft moments and real life. Visit puretifa.com to shop now and use code UNBOTHERED at checkout to receive 10% off. Pure Tifa Cafe. Take the cafe home. All right. The first topic is that a reality star runs for mayor. And honestly, I don't expect you to know who this person is because unless you watched a very specific reality TV show, he's irrelevant.
So, like, I Googled him, right? Because I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't have a clue who this man is.
Mhm.
And so some of the pictures, I'm like, "That face looks mildly familiar."
Mhm.
And I read, like, the Google overview, and I was like, "Kelly, you don't even know what the hills is. You don't have the slightest iota of a clue."
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know who this man is at all.
I mean, so The Hills was a spinoff of Laguna Beach,
Okay.
which was
Mhm.
just a reality TV show about a whole bunch of rich teenagers
Okay.
in Laguna Beach.
Okay.
They actually had, I think Baldwin Hills was like the African American version. I would look this up now.
I don't watch TV.
And this was also the only reason why I know this is because this was right around my, reality TV show, like, thing. I just told my coworkers this. I wanted to be on a reality TV show. I told them this last night, and they're like, "Why did you wanna be on a reality TV show?" And I was like, "Because I have the personality." "What do you mean?" You can't tell me that I don't have like,
You said I could do this up.
I
Excellent.
could do this I mean, I don't wanna be on the competition ones, but just like I miss the old reality TV shows we were just following people or like, what was it where they all was in a house?
Big
Real
brother.
World. I wanted to be on Real World so I couldn't wait till I turned 18. But he was in this is his, like he came in on, like, a spinoff, and he was dating one of the friends, which is, Heidi, and she was the friend of Lauren, I believe it was. I didn't watch a lot of this, I just kind of kept up on it a little bit. He was, like, the villain. Their relationship was, like, a villainous relationship, it was the drama of the series, right?
So is this Heidi person the person he's married to now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still. Um, no one really liked him, he was just like an entitled dick. Just like, the entire time. And he kind of redeemed himself because they lost their home in, like, the LA fires, and he did this whole campaign to get people to buy his wife's music so that they could, get back in life, so he redeemed himself a little bit. But now he wants to run for the mayor of Los Angeles, and what are the qualifications of this at this point? How do we get this to stop?
Interesting tidbit. Um,
Okay.
in undergrad, I worked for Detroit City Council. Like, that was my day job.
Mhm.
And I think people think that, if you wanna see some kind of change, Imma run for public office. It's not easy. Like, it is a real job, and it requires, like, a lot of reading. So I've seen it done very, very well, and I've seen it done miserably. And so when I was working for city council, I worked for a specific council member, and there was a council member on there who was a musician, like a Motown musician,
Mhm.
and them being at council was a mess every day because, like, I don't think, like, if you're not in it, you don't understand how much is going on in the background,
Mhm.
right? So, like, all the proposals that come through, you really have to read that stuff. Like, you really have to read it. You
Like,
really
you
have
gotta
to
go through all of it.
understand da 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 da. And we would be sitting in session like, is this woman illiterate? Like, and that's fine. Some people are functionally illiterate, and that's okay. But being in public office is not your job. It's not a good thing for you if you are functionally illiterate. It don't work because we would spend so much of the session would be spent with people explaining to her what was
Mm.
in the packets that come through every week. And Detroit is not the biggest city, but like the packets that will come every were like this big. Yeah. Every contract, everything has to go through city council. It was every week. So I can only imagine what being a mayor entails, you know? And it's just like, do you have the intelligence to pull this off?
I don't think he does. It's just I don't wanna say this in a mean way, But legitimately, I mean, I don't know. I don't wanna insult anyone's intelligence because I just said this, that I think people think that I'm way less intelligent than I am, and that, people make flash
Judgment.
judgments on you as who they are. I really I know that the kind of energy is that they don't want politicians to be politicians anymore, but there's also a reason that they were. And I mean, there are some people who Arnold Schwarzenegger made it through, but I wish that the solution to "I see a problem in my city" wasn't the immediate response wasn't, "I'm going to run for office," and instead was, "How do I find a way to affect change, support, and back legitimate people in
There's no
office?"
glory in that, right?
And that's my bigger issue, is that what you want is the glory in it,
Yeah. Yeah, there's
you
no
know?
glory in that. And if it's something you're doing not because you legitimately care about your community, but you want people to see you, then that's kinda what's gonna happen.
Because why wouldn't the first step be to run for city council? Why wouldn't one of the first steps be to be in a position where you can help, maybe not at the same level as the mayor, but you can still help the city that you say you love? To me, that would be my first step. Also because I would wanna learn. I wouldn't wanna just jump into the waters not fully understanding.
But you're not a person that is, like, necessarily interested in the limelight either, right?
The Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, like, I don't know how other cities work, like in Detroit, team recognition is a big thing, especially when it comes to voting.
Mhm.
Well, does he have a chance? I don't know. No, maybe, maybe not. I think that it's probably something that if you are not prepared for what the reality is,
Mhm.
you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. Like, it's not it's not what people assume.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna shake people's hands and kiss babies and it's gonna be copacetic. Nah.
No, that's not. I agree. And I think that my frustration is just that, like, one, you're right. I've always told people I wouldn't mind being well known for like what I'm doing, like my podcast, being an author, somewhat like creator influencer, but I don't want the limelight. There's like a level of security that you have to give up to be at that level. And I could have, like I used to do acting and I was like, this is a lot. Like, I don't need the people judging me every day for my choices on how I kiss this. Like, no, I loved actually more of the behind the scenes stuff. That's how I kind of gotten into a lot of things that I actually went to school for radio and television production. So you're right. Probably I don't see it because I have no like I know that the true change happens behind the scenes. Like, I know that the mayors that you see, the senators, the congressmen, congresswomen that you see have a whole team behind them that you don't know about. And so, I'm not saying I think that there are some great senators and there's some great congressmen and women,
But you can
but
tell
also
people who have bad teams. It's very apparent, the people who don't have good teams.
a good team is the thing that is gonna help you out. And you could tell who have great teams, but they themselves are not that good.
Yeah. Mm.
I'm just saying. I've met a congressman and his team was great, and he himself,
It's questionable at best.
mm, he might or might not be a Michigan congressman.
Mm. Is he scary looking?
Hmm?
I said, "Is he scary looking?" Hmm?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, but going to the next topic. The next topic is share I'm only laughing because I read more about this. Cher tells Dax Shepard that his wife could do better, and I fucking love Cher. I don't
Okay, so
even
for this one, I know who
Mhm.
Sherry is, okay?
Okay. Okay.
When I saw the picture, I'm like, "Kristen Bell looks familiar." I don't know from what, but I don't know who her husband is, though. I don't have the slightest iota of a clue.
Let's see. I know who he is. I feel like I've watched like he was definitely in, what was it, Parenthood, I believe. And I've been on like a big Parenthood, I was on a
Never had
big
kids.
Parenthood binge for a while back. But that's honestly where I know him from. Kristen Bell, if you've ever watched Frozen
She's
in
the
your
voice of
life.
yeah, I would say she's the voice of
Yeah.
Frozen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But as far as Dax, I've seen him more with her than I probably have seen him in life. He was in Cheaper by the Dozen. What? IMDb this immediately. I don't know why IMDb is not coming. You know what? When all else fails, pull the phone out.
So funny.
I like I said, I told you I love, like, I wanted to make movies and everything. IMDb stays on both of my phones. It lives there. Um,
It depends on mine. Normally, because 'cause I'm looking my kids are trying to watch some random anime, and they're like,
oh, and you
"Never
know,
found it."
I have a friend and she always calls, because I love anime, and she always calls me. It's like, should he be watching this anime? And I'm like, no, no, in fact, he shouldn't. Actually, no, don't do it at all. And then sometimes I'm like, if you watch it with him, it's okay, you know?
Yeah, my brother and my husband are big, anime people, so
Oh, so you're like,
go talk to your daddy. That's our
yeah,
rule. If your dad says that you can watch this or you can play this game, then go for it,
hmm
but your dad has
and
to approve it first.
right. Let's see. He was in Buddy Games, never seen that. The Ranch, never seen that. The Good Place. I
I've
think my
seen
brother
Idiocracy.
liked that.
I
Hmm?
don't remember being in Idiocracy, but I remember I did see that movie.
Parenthood, Parks and Rec, but he only did like an episode. My brother loves Parks and Rec, but I can't see anything that honestly that I would have remembered him from. But um,
Is
I
he like,
mean,
is he a jerk? Why did you say that? Hmm?
so I guess I read about it, and I guess that when they first got married or whatever, Cher had made it clear that she didn't like him. Cause so Kristen Bell was on Burlesque with Cher.
Okay. Is that a show or
And from what I read, Cher, we all know that Cher says what she's gonna say regardless.
'cause she old, and old people can do that, okay?
I mean, she been doing it before. Like when she was being interviewed, when she was like, "Oh, who is she? Who's like the person that she like came out with?" Cher and man
Not
singer. It has to be. Hold on, it has to come up.
you said it, man singer.
Oh, Sonny and Cher. That's what it was. So like when she
Her original husband?
yeah, 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 yeah. When she separated from him though, she always talked about like how you don't need a man. She's been very like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say what I want about shit in general. But this specific one, and it was from what I read from the cut, it said it was an awkward thing. But Dax has a podcast because every day now, every or almost every day now, another celebrity needs to have a podcast, which I get it. And some of them are fun, but it's also kind of like this sphere is meant to be a little less celebrity driven. And, celebrities are doing it because they want the finances or whatever that come from it. People don't know that if you make it big in podcasting, it can actually be quite fruitful of a job,
Okay.
the advertising and stuff. But he has a podcast, and I guess that he had Kristen Bell and Cher on the podcast. And he brought up the topic that he knew that Cher had mentioned to Kristen Bell that she wasn't too fond of him. And I'm gonna read some of it. And so apparently there are a couple things that he has said in the past, like, even though I am heavily incentivized to kill you, I never would, which is, I think that it was meant to be kind of like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, who I love, by the way. I know a lot of people don't always like them, but I think that the relationship is hilarious. I think it was meant to be like a mimic of that, and it just failed miserably. But they've been on podcasts and they said terrible things. But anyway, she was on a podcast And Cher gestured to Belle and told Shepard that she is definitely the better half, which is like a common thing. Most people will tell you that your wife is your better half because she is. Studies show that having a wife actually improves your life. So, like, you live longer because you have a wife. So say thank you. I'm not married, but anyways, um, and then Belle said, I don't know about that. And they moved on. But the creepy thing, or the thing that people are noting, is that Dax kept talking about it. And he asked her, who would you like to see Kristen with? Well, who would be your dream partner for her? Because I know you think she could do better, and I don't disagree. Who would be your pick? And that's such an awkward situation to
That
be
sounds
in.
like he's in his feelings.
Yeah.
And the question becomes like, why are you so in your feelings? Like, what
On
happened?
your own podcast.
Right. Like, what happened?
Like, if you were gonna be this way, we should have never had Cher on.
Right. Or fix your face. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I've been with my husband since I was 18.
Mhm.
Oh, we turned 40 this year. Right. So we've been together longer than we haven't been. And sometimes we don't fight a lot, but you get into disagreements and stuff with people. But when you gotta go in public, like you gotta
You gotta
get it
fix your face.
together. You can be mad on the car ride back home and the car
Mhm.
ride there, but you gotta fix your face before you get out the car and get it together. Like, yeah, this was just
He couldn't fix his face.
it was
He
more
could
than just his face, apparently. You
but
have an
apparently
internal filter is what this sounds like. Like nothing in your mind said negative.
like nothing you didn't think through. He kept going. He kept saying because Cher said, I don't know. He said, Shepard offered up Brad Pitt as an answer. And then it said Belle assured the singer that her husband was being self-deprecating. Brad Pitt is not one of the like good guys anymore. Why is Brad Pitt your go-to? Give
Because
her
he
just.
probably feels like he's attractive and he feels like he is not. This kind
But
of
he's
sounds like
also a lot older than them.
I don't know how old any of these people are. I know Cher is probably close to 80, but outside of that,
Dude, and Cher has to be a vampire.
she just probably has a very good plastic surgeon.
Dude. But like better than
But she
most people.
ages very gracefully.
She
And
does.
that should be the goal, not to not age at all, because then you look crazy out here. And like you just want other people to play into the fact that you don't look crazy. But I think she does it in a way, whatever she's doing, that like she's aging
She does it very
very well.
slowly and
Now there was
gracefully.
a period when I remember looking at Cher like she looks scary. But we've moved past that. Maybe she found somebody new, and we praise God for that.
Maybe I don't Cher thinks that you should just play men, and I love that about her. I wonder how many husbands Cher has had. Let's Cher's husbands. Because but one other thing I always loved about Cher in general, she's only had two. And they
Yeah, but
were
after that too, she said, "I'm not getting married no more."
no, she said no, and they were very close to each other. She had Sonny,
Mhm.
which is 1964 to 1975, and then Greg Allman, which was 1975 to 1979. And after that, she said, "What do you need a man for?" And
And
she's gone on
at
national
that
TV
point,
saying
she
it.
was what, 35, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was probably like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this no more." And
yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, if my husband and I were getting divorced, he was to die, whatever, I would get remarried at this juncture of my life. I just wouldn't. And it's nothing against him.
Mm-hmm.
Just not doing this again. Just not doing
I
this.
did it once, and that was enough.
That was enough. It was good. We had a good life. We moved on. Even if we were to get divorced, we're like, this was fun and all. We had a good time until apparently we didn't. And I'm not doing this again. And it's nothing against my husband. It's just
Mm,
like at this point in my life, I know me,
mm-hmm.
I know I am. And I don't think I have it in me to like there is a certain level of compromise that has to happen in any relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I'm willing to start on new compromises with a new person. I don't think that I am.
I get that.
So I can definitely see why she never got remarried. Like, oh no,
Do you,
that's okay.
So then my question for you, like, so say you were on a podcast, not this one, because I would never do that. But say you and your husband were on a podcast and someone was like, who would you date beside your husband? Wouldn't you look at them like, what? Or if your husband said it, like, hey, who would you date outside of me? Would you be like, Michael B. Jordan, instantly.
The person that I have always now my husband is a very attractive man, but I am more attracted to his character
Mhm,
and his personality than his looks. And so
mhm.
there are not a lot of people in the streets that like I'd be like, oh, hmm? I just that's not
Yeah,
it, you know. So at the same time though, my husband is not like in our relationship, it has no insecurities in it. So if someone had said it to him, he would probably laugh about it.
yeah.
We used to have a running ingoing inside the house joke for a while that like we were gonna find what do you call a brother husband? And I was like, oh, okay. That's what you go do? He was like, yeah, I think we should find me a brother husband and they can, help with these kids, do some of this stuff around this house or something like that. And then when he started explaining like the limitations on it, I was like, you that's not what you want. You want some kind of
You want
paid
a nanny.
right? You want to live in assistant or something like
They make those.
I'm like, but what you do not desire is for there to be another person in this relationship. You would not make it.
No. You would fail miserably. Alright, switching gears into something that is just insane, and I know I'm have to explain it to you, but JoJo Siwa decides that she's gonna change her name to Joelle.
Is that her real name?
Probably. I'm gonna guess so. So, have you ever heard of dance moms?
I haven't heard of Jam Toms, but I do know who JoJo Siwa is.
'Cause she was huge with the freaking glitter and the big bows, and every kid was wearing mismatched glossy clothing.
Yeah, let's say
Ugh,
so. I feel like she was on Disney or something at some point. So I
she
did know
definitely
who JoJo
was.
Siwa was, and Joelle is her real name.
Mm.
Okay.
It's it's so a lot of people are frustrated because JoJo, I feel it's frustrating and it's sad. She's still young. She's probably like 22, 23 years old, right? Which is really, really young. And this is the conversation that comes from child stars. So she started on Dance Moms, and her personality was just so fierce and fantastic that everybody really loved her, and she booked deals and became a singer and was like the thing for children. Like everybody had kids had to have a JoJo Siwa party. They sold her bows, like her actual bows. Or not her actual, but like bows like her big, big bows in stores. I do believe she had like a Disney thing going on as well, but she got really big. But the problem is that you can't maintain that
Mhm.
forever.
She's a lesbian, right? Like, isn't she
Oh,
like married to like a woman or something?
oh, no, 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 we're gonna get to that too.
Mm,
Because that she couldn't maintain it, so she started trying to, like, shift her music and her brand. The problem is that that's really hard to do when you've spent, I don't know, 8 years or whatever being this one person for everybody
mhm.
and not having an exit plan. And so she started, it started to shift. She was a lesbian. She was dating women. And then, as a lot of the dance moms have the people on Dance Moms and child stars and everything like that have started to do is they've been on social media doing the influencer world. So she was dating other influencers and then she would get bashed on social media because that relationship ended poorly and they were talking about how terrible she was and then she would date and then there'd be like a huge messy breakup and then she would date another one. Then, right before she came out with this new music and she was like, "I'm gonna be edgy," and no one has ever had a revamp or recome, and her music was just really bad, and she did this one thing where she did that, and everybody just spent so many months making fun of it, and she had a girlfriend, she went on Celebrity Big Brother, met this guy, and they became really close friends on Celebrity Big Brother, and then when they got off of Celebrity Big Brother, she broke up with her girlfriend and got in a relationship with him,
Okay.
and acknowledged that she was bisexual or just queer or whatever. The people revolted again. They're very hard on her. But once again, it's like the child star thing, and it's like when you this is something I'm very conscious of as I build my brand. When you make yourself one thing, people are only going to associate you with that one thing unless you have an exit plan to move into something else. You know what I mean? And so I think people were so stuck on her being this way.
So I mean, she started this when she was what, 12?
8 probably?
something. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's also unrealistic to imagine that, like, this persona that essentially her parents created, right? Because
Right.
people don't know, like, if this was really her personality, if this was really
Mhm.
what it was like, or if they were forcing her to do this.
Mhm.
At some point, she was gonna grow up.
Like, what did you expect?
Yeah, what did you expect? And if that's what, and to be 22, you are still figuring out who you are as a person and what you want to do, I would expect things to change.
Mhm.
Now people are mean to her, people are mean to everybody because people don't have any good sense. And that's okay.
That's above us.
That don't have nothing to do with me. Um, but yeah, I think that that's just part of her being an adult. Like, if you want to be known by your actual name,
Yeah.
that's your prerogative. If you want to be called Purple Tickle Monster, okay, cool. That's what you want to do. That's your business.
Like, be who you are. I agree. I think my hardest thing is that she just keeps jumping around, which again is
Makes
what
sense if you're 22. I think people like you get older and then you don't remember what it was to
to
be
be, yeah, to not know
whatever.
who you were, and every day you're changing the way you do your makeup, the way you do your hair, the way you wear clothes, all of those things.
The
I
difference
think
was you didn't have to make mistakes in front of people and have people criticize every move that you made.
you're right. And I do think that there is, you know, when you get to that place and you've been on TV for so long that you have this fear that if you stop showing your face, if you stop being noticed, that you stop becoming relevant. And I don't think that that would happen. But I think what I wish for her, I'm totally here for her experimenting, but I wish she would just like take a step back. Don't, the Joel thing doesn't bug me, but like get to really get discover who you are. Everything doesn't have to be in front of the world.
The other side of that is that like, are people going to allow that to be a thing? Like, are people going to allow her the ability to be figure out who she is and it not be all over
That's fair.
everywhere?
I mean, that is the
Capitalism is
hardest.
a thing. Do you have money? Like, you did this for how many ever years as a child? But
Mhm.
your parents weren't controlling anything. Is there any money left, or do you have to go out and do some kind of work
Right.
to be able to live?
That's
So if
true.
you got to do something to be able to live, then it might not be as simple as go.
Go take a break for a second.
Yeah, that might not be
Yeah.
an option.
And this is again why I want to be well known and not famous. Because when you're well known, you could disappear off the face of the earth for a little bit and nobody would like bat an eye that much. But
Mhm.
when you're famous, there's a whole level of weight that carries with every decision that you make. Yeah. But switching into our last topic in our pop culture roundup, something nice and something sweet. The Critics Award happened last week, I believe,
Okay.
and so many celebrities showed up, but one of the celebrities that showed out was Michael B. Jordan. That's why he's been on my mind all day. Um, but his date was his mom.
Cute.
It was cute. I love when, first of all, I love when people, period, don't have to feed into this. I have to bring a date or a woman on my arm or whatever to show that I'm this kind of person. And they just bring the person they really want to be there. Honestly, if my best friend was alive, people would probably think I was a lesbian. I'm queer, but I'm not a lesbian. They probably think I was a lesbian because she would go to all of my events, even if I had a man. Because I want to date a grumpy guy, and he'd probably be like, "I don't want to go to no war show," and I'd be like, "Great, I'm gonna take her. Stay at home, baby. Watch me on the screen. We're gonna go out and we're gonna have fun, and I'll see you when we get home, and we can have some great celebratory sex. But like, I'm gonna go take her." So I love not feeding into that, and I love bringing your mom. I think bring your mom is cute and sweet and says something to the world. She did say a thing that me personally was a
What was she?
little off put about, but like it wasn't bad. She just said that, when because she was talking about how well she raised Michael B. Jordan and, how he, for all intents and purposes that we've seen, has been a decent human being for the most part. And she said something about when men are trying to be nice to you, that doesn't always mean that they're flirting. Some of it means that their mom just raised them right. And I agree with that statement and the reality that it is for her, as a mother of a son.
Mhm.
And I know that mothers, from talking to mothers of sons, that the perception sometimes is different. But as just being a female in this world that has to date, I can't take that chance. That's just my personal. Like I get it. I understand it. She's right. I have met some genuinely nice men, and honestly, I usually can tell when someone is being nice and someone's being flirty. There's usually a difference. If someone's offering to like hold the door open for you. I don't think that that's you being like maybe it's just me. Maybe you got to be more out there for me to think you're flirting with me.
So it's a problem that, like, I had when I was younger that
Mhm.
people thought that I was flirting with them, and I wasn't. I was just
Mhm.
being friendly.
Mhm.
Um, and so I get that sentiment. Um, and I completely understand, and, like, I know for me, my best friend and I are very close, very, very
Mhm.
much. And she was having a time like, "You do know that such and such things that, like, this is gonna turn into a thing." And I'm like, "What are you
Mhm.
talking?" Like, "That's just a friend of mine, we were just hanging out, da 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 da." And I think it is that when you don't view people that way,
Mhm.
to you, you don't see it. You're just
Mm.
like, "Oh, we're just chit chat, we're just hanging out, da 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 da." So I can get why why his mom thinks that and why she would say it.
Mhm.
Because if that's not the lens that he is looking at interactions with people with, then it's very easy for it to be misunderstood
Mhm.
on one side, and
You
you
know,
completely miss it on your side. And so
yeah.
because it happened to me for so long, even sometimes now we'll be out and, people strike up conversations and da 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 da. My husband be like, "You do know that person was flirting with you." And I'm like, "No."
Like
He's
no,
like,
we were just
"Yeah."
talking.
Like, because a lot of times, most times if you see me out, I have my headphones on and I'm talking normally to him or my best
Mhm.
friend. And so he hears my conversations with people. He's like, "You do know that that guy was flirting with you." And I'm like, "No, he wasn't." And he was like, "Yes, he was." Yes,
Yeah.
he was. So I get it. I get it. And I also see it from like my son, my oldest son in particular is the
Mhm.
I think all my kids are very cute. But my oldest son, he was my best work. Um, and maybe he's maybe a little biased because he's the original, but um I see he's tall. So he's 13, but he's 5'9" right now. Yeah.
So, basketball or football?
He doesn't play any sports. He
I
does
love this for him.
karate, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he plays golf, actually.
You know what? Honestly, golf is the way to go.
But as far as like ball, he's uncoordinated. Love him, uncoordinated.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
like not his thing. And so like we're out, and I think a lot of times people think that he's older than he is.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, you're 5'9", and I'm going to automatically assume that you are close to a grown man.
and he's not. He's 13. He is my baby. And like people say stuff to him and like girls make little comments to him and it goes completely over his head.
Mhm.
And he's trying to like, why are you talking to me? Like that's like his thing, like, I don't know who you are. Why are you talking to me? And sometimes people do think like he's just trying to play hard to get and
Mhm.
it's not. He's like, "Hey," he's not rude. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes on about his day, but he does not get that like girls are trying to get his attention or anything like that. Like he doesn't see that at all. And his best friend is a
Mhm.
girl. She's been his best friend since they were like 3 years old.
Mhm.
And she's told us since she was 4 that they are getting married. She has told us since she was 4 years old that they are getting married when they grow up, and he has just accepted it. Like, that's fine. So when he talks about being an adult, he talks about, like, when she and I get married, da 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 da. And he's been like that since he was like 5. And
What
so
in the Boy Meets World?
he don't see nobody else. He don't care. And so they will hang out and watch My Little Pony because she likes My Little Pony and he likes My Little Pony. And they watch My Little Pony and they read My Little Pony comic books and all these things,
Mm.
but he doesn't see it. And
Yeah.
so I can see that. Mhm.
Yeah, I will agree. I do think that I think it's you hear people talk about nice guys, and I hate when nice guys talk about nice I hate when nice guys talk about nice guys because a true nice guy doesn't like you were saying, like, they don't give a shit if you notice their niceness or you don't notice. They're literally just doing it because that's who they are, and I think that that is like a dying breed, nice people in general, like truly, genuinely nice people. So I guess I can definitely see where that's coming from. I think that it's not her fault. It's just that the world that we live in sometimes, for me, some of those statements can be just a little off-putting,
Mhm.
and again, it has nothing to do with her, and it's probably more of like a trigger or a
Yeah,
response to my own
it's better
things.
situation or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Well, since I'm out here, let me go ahead and,
Right.
say my
But
piece." I can say that. I know, like, in my marriage and stuff, like, um, I am the aggressive one.
I am mhm,
I am the aggressive one. And so my husband and I laugh quite a bit because, like, he's the nice one, right? Like, he's the people pleaser. I have cussed out a number of people about my husband. I've
mm,
cussed out grown men about my husband because, like I tell people all the time, I don't treat my husband any kind of way. I don't speak to my husband any kind of way. You're not
mhm,
gonna speak to my husband any kind of way. We're not doing that. Whereas
mhm,
he's like, "Oh, it's fine." Da 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 da. Like he's not a bitch, but he's
yeah.
not
He doesn't
confrontational
have to
like
be
that.
yeah, he doesn't have to confrontate unless
You
he
know, like
has
it
to.
just it don't make no difference. He's like, "You'll just never see me again. I never talk to you. It's cool." And I feel like, "Oh no, we're gonna address this however I see fit to address it." I've cussed out pastors, all kind of stuff. I do not care. And
Mm,
so I feel like, as a mom, I can see where she's like, "Well, let me since I got some time in front of y'all, let me
yeah,
drop
while we're
this real
here,
quick."
I do think this statement, looking at it from a different lens, is important to say, one, showing that, there's this stigma that Black mothers aren't good mothers
Mm,
or are too, too aggressive, aren't kind, aren't caring, don't raise their children to be sensitive, and which is such a stupid stigma that
no,
I've been reading
because
more
my
about it.
kids are the most sensitive, which is
Yeah.
why I got to be the aggressive one.
I hate it, and it's something that they portray in media, but I do love this statement of like, no, no, we're caring and we're considerate and we raise good boys. You may have to dig in the well real hard to find them, but they exist. I want to find one, but I want to find one that's grumpy and maybe a little bit damaged. It's going to our next little mini topic, which we're gonna call pettier facts. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it cost everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black, multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. I don't know if you've seen this. You say you don't watch TV. I don't know if you saw like the Disney Channel shows that existed and the movies that existed, but like the Hillary Doves, the High School Musicals, all of those things. But apparently there's a mom group that's not the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and it was formed by celebrity moms
Okay.
who were having kids during COVID, which understandable. Having kids during COVID was a really stressful time. You were very isolated. It makes sense that you formed your own unit, and a lot of people did. Um, well, Ashley Tisdale, she was originally on High School Musical. She played Sharpay.
Okay.
She came out and wrote an article about leaving a toxic mom group.
All mom brews are toxic. All of them are ridiculous.
Are they?
Yes, all of them are ridiculous. It doesn't matter what the topic is, what the thing y'all supposed to be in there talking about.
Hmm.
9 times out of 10,
Okay.
they're ridiculous.
So, I'm not a mom, so I cannot speak on that at all. I mean, I think that all large groups of friends in general are going to break up because everybody grows and they change, and sometimes you grow apart, and it's hard for every single member of this group to grow together. You know what I mean? Um, but immediately everybody on the internet went to sleuthing to figure out who was in this mom group. And this is where I think it was at.
You're like a Facebook group or something?
No, they were just like an actual, like, they were living around each other, an actual group. They found out who, because they looked at like old pictures. They found out who was potentially in this mom group, and it was some wives or some women who own their own businesses but aren't, again, maybe well known or known in their industry, not famous. But three moms that was supposedly part of this group are famous. The three
Okay.
moms are Hillary Duff, Megan Trainor, and Mandy Moore. She's like immediately looking. Which person?
No, from Hillary Duff is. I don't know,
Okay.
like the other one, Megan who?
Megan Trainor, she's a singer. She for her first song was all about that bass.
Okay.
Right?
What's
She's
the next one?
married to Daryl, who was like a kid star. He was in Spy Kids.
Okay. And then who's
And
the
then
third
the
one?
next one is Mandy Moore.
Okay. I know who
Now
that is.
she's
Okay.
a yeah.
Wait, is this
M-
the same person?
Hold on. It should be
Because the
only
pictures
one.
that came up on Google, I don't know if this is the same person.
Well, there's a Mandy Moore that's a choreographer, and then there's a Mandy Moore that's a singer. So dark hair is the singer, blonde hair is the choreographer.
No, both these women got dark hair.
If
Well,
it's like a picture with like red lipstick, she does look a little different.
yes, that's what I'm seeing. I'm like, what's
Yeah,
this?
it looks a little different. But she was one of the stars of This Is Us. She was on A Walks Remember. She was in the first Princess Diary, Because I Said So, Tangled. She was like, she did a lot of romantic comedy movies and things like that for a while. Um, she's such a she's like a sweetheart. If you had to pick some like stars that came out from them times, she would be labeled as a sweetheart. So would Hilary Duff. The problem is that Ashley Tisdale came for people who people think are sweethearts, and it is not doing well for her. And but the funny part is, and this is where is what Ashley Tisdale doing petty, or was it factual? Hilary Duff's husband comes into the chat, and I said this on my recapped episode. I love a husband that comes into the chat. I do. I do. He came into the chat and he trolled her, made a photo of like the cut background, because she went to the cut to write the article or whatever. And it said, hold on, it said something like, when you're so tone deaf, um, that you that the moms in the group decide that they would rather deal with their actual toddlers than you. And it's hold on, I have to find his name. It's hilarious. So funny.
Tacoma?
Yes. And so he came out and he made this image and posted it
Trying
to
to see
his
if I can
story.
find the image.
And he also called her self-obsessed. I found it. Hold on. It says he oh fuck, it's on X. I hate X. It says, when you're the most self-obsessed, tone-deaf person on earth, other moms tend to shift their focus to their actual toddlers.
So that he spent real time and worked on this, didn't he?
Dude, he did.
I
So I
love the
don't know,
dedication to Petty.
dude. Yes. So my question is, I mean, other moms have gone to the chat. Megan Trainor used the drama to promote her new song,
Okay.
which is like, I still don't care.
Yeah. It's like that's cool. Go listen to that song on Spotify. Thank you.
Yeah. Mandy Moore came into the chat and said that I guess Hillary Duff's husband, because he is a singer in a band. Hillary Duff's husband went to see Mandy Moore perform, and he posted a story, and she commented about how much she supports him and Hillary Duff, and how when the fires happen, Hillary Duff let people come into her home, and Mandy Moore was one of those people to stay and everything. And maybe some people didn't offer this. But it makes me wonder, it makes me
Quiet
question
Flight. That's a Quiet Flight.
that. Yeah, I love it. Also, I love a quiet flight. I don't. There's a petty part in my soul that I try to push down all the
That's easy.
time.
I don't try to push mine down, but okay.
But I can't be petty in my own life. I love watching other people be petty. I mean, I can be petty in my own life. I usually choose not to, unless it's worth it.
Depends on how you define worth it.
I guess, yeah. It changes every day though. Don't worry. Worth it to me is
I
t
say
it changes.
sometimes I define worth it like I need a chuckle today. Let me
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Or like,
let
this
me
person
go
has
real
pushed
quick.
me to a little too far today, Imma choose violence.
Basically. Basically.
So, what do you think? Is it pettier facts for Ashley Tisdale? Is it pettier facts for, Matthew Coma?
I mean, so Matthew Combs being petty and I like it. It don't matter what she said was true or not. He being petty about it. And I enjoy white foolishness, as I like to call it. So I'm here for that. Mean, could it be? I mean, like the persona that you see people in public is not necessarily who they are at home. Is not necessarily who they are with their friends.
Mhm.
Could the thing she said be true? Maybe. Does it matter at the end of the day? No. Mm. But whatever she thought was gonna happen apparently is not what's going on. So in that way, you kind of hold yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
And now, on top of people judging you, they're also making fun of you. So you got it back, like in two different ways.
yeah.
Poorly. I don't know what her goal was, but hopefully it
That's the thing. I think that, like, her goal just backla I think her goal was originally to talk about how mom groups can be toxic, which is what you said in the
oh yeah,
beginning.
they're the worst. They're the absolute worst.
Even in that, I think, by the way, I think they're both being petty, and I like one being petty, and I don't like the other one being petty. I think that Ashley Tisdale probably wanted her voice to be heard,
Mm.
and she probably felt some type of way because she talked about how she started sitting at the end of a table, or she didn't get invited to everything. So I think that
Oh,
this was
she's in her
kinda
feelings.
like,
So this is the result of her being in her feelings.
yeah, so I think her
I think
feelings were
I
hurt.
think more people need to learn and accept that everybody don't like you, and that's okay.
Mhm. I literally journaled about that today.
Like everybody's not gonna like you. I honestly would like for less people to like me personally, but I'm extremely introverted, and so my happy place is at home in my bed,
Mhm.
which my kids are always in my bed. I can't really get rid of them, but that's my happy place. I don't need to be seen by a lot of. I think a lot of people need to go to therapy and learn to be okay with themselves.
I agree with you.
Because
Why
I
I'm in
think this
therapy.
thing about doing all this stuff for like outward validation, what it
Mhm.
really boils down to is that people are not okay with who they are and what they have going on and with their situation. And so they are seeking outward validation. And that could go well and it could backfire on you. And then is you worse than when you started off.
Yeah.
But if you could just be okay with yourself, then
Then you're in a good place. I agree with you. I think that she was definitely looking for outward validation. She felt some type of way about it, and that's human. Like, to be clear, that's human. The part is where the issue is that she forgot her, like, status.
mm,
And she forgot that whether it's okay or it's not okay, you can't, sorry, the music just started playing in the background. Whether it's okay or it's not okay, um, you you are a bigger star. And when you make some of these statements like this, they
I mean,
can back.
but you went on a magazine. Like it's not like this
Yeah,
is
like, you
something you
didn't.
wrote in your journal or you posted to like your Instagram,
Right, the one
like
that only your friends see. Like, you wanted this to be publicly known because you thought that you had something to say, and you found out that you didn't.
you live and you learn.
Then, alright. Hopping off of everybody's pettiness and running for mayors and telling people's husbands that their wife could do better, we are gonna get into you and in our topic. Like, first of all, I just want to, like, last time we talked a little bit about what you do, but I want to start off with just kind of talking about, like, for your accounting firm, exactly what you do, how you help people, and things like that.
So the accounting firm, like I said, it's called Pilot Management Group. We focused our two main focuses are small businesses and nonprofits.
Mhm.
specifically like smaller nonprofits.
Mhm.
And that is my focus because I feel like that is two groups that are vastly underserved by the accounting industry as a whole.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of times, I hear from people, it's like, "Oh, we went to this big regionally known accounting firm," and they were like, "Yeah, you don't you don't make enough money for us to deal with you."
Yeah.
And so I deal with smaller entities in that way, um, because I am very hands-on.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think that um, I'm to school for a long time, and I learned a lot of things, and that's what I'm good at. And just because that's what I'm good at doesn't mean that's what everyone else is good at. And so
Mhm.
these are things that cause stress, like it's difficult and I want to make it easy and not stressful. And then like I said, I'm a tax nerd. I love tax law. And so I also do individual taxes, business and nonprofit. So I kind of do the whole gambit.
Mhm.
Um, just because again, I'm a very strange bird and I love doing tax returns
Mhm.
because I'm odd. I guess it's
I
kind of
don't
the
think
best
that
way to
makes
put
you
it.
odd.
It's the best way to put it. But yeah, I love people. I love like teaching people the things that I know at a base level. I'm not expecting anybody to know, what I know, but just to provide enough basis that it's not scary
Mhm.
or overwhelming or frustrating or stressful.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do.
I think that is admirable. I think sorry, I'm trying not to say I think so much, but it's it's not proving to be working out that well. It is what you're doing is something that a lot of people don't focus on, which are the smaller people. A lot of people just wanna make money, and when you come from that mindset, you forget the people that there are people who are building a small businesses that could eventually make you money, but when your mindset is just money, 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 you automatically go to the people who have a lot of it, and you don't wanna talk to or you don't wanna work with the people who don't have enough that you deem, and so having someone that wants, is willing, and chooses to work with smaller entities, smaller businesses, smaller nonprofits is something that I believe is admirable.
Like,
It's something that we don't have enough in this world that's all about making a crap ton of money and
and so I think like for me, part of that is that I have the privilege of
Mhm,
having my husband at my back. So,
mm,
like, I explained to him at 19, 20 years old what I wanted our life to look like. And
mhm.
he said, okay, I'm going to make that happen.
Okay, bet.
So basically, he was like, bet. Is that what you want? Um, and he has worked every day since we were 18 to make that happen. And so the money that I make has never supported our household. You know
Mhm,
what I'm saying? Like, he got the bills. He got the bills. He got all that. I make play money, basically. And so, because I don't have that motivation behind me of like, I have to maintain our household. I have to pay these bills. It allows me the flexibility to do what I want to do. Right. So
mm,
he kind of has given me that privilege to be able to do that. Um, and I can go to him tomorrow and say, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
mhm,
I'm over the business. Imma shut it down. He'd be like, "Okay, that's cool. If you don't wanna do it, then whatever."
mhm,
So I have that privilege in my background. Um, I was also raised with the concept that all money is not good money, is what my grandfather says.
mhm,
And so, because all money is not good money, could I focus on only a certain group of people? Could I charge them top dollar to do what I'm gonna do? Could I nickel and dime people to death? Could I do all those things? Yes. Would I feel good about myself? No.
yeah,
And I think that when you put good out into the world, you get good back, right? And so my biggest motivations are like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it well, to the best of
mhm,
my ability. Um, I'm never going to scam or take advantage of people to do what I wanna do, and I want to be a benefit to my community. So those are kind of the pillars that I work from, right? Um, and everything else kinda works from there. Now, Does that mean I work for free? No, I do
Yeah.
not work for free. Who got it, boo? We ain't got it like that. So, if we ever get there one day, maybe then I will work for free.
Mhm.
But for right now, that's not exactly the case. But I do meet people where they are. So for me, like I have a lot of options for people to kind of meet them wherever they are at so that they get the assistance and help that they need, even if that is not me um doing everything for them. So
Mhm.
like for me, like kind of base level tier of service that we offer is setup and training. So like we will set your QuickBooks up and we will train you how to use it
Mhm.
so that you can do it yourself properly. Because what I found happens a lot was that people were like, I do that all the time. That's
I'm a
why I was
child.
like, what I found was happening was that people couldn't get any help. And they said,
Mhm.
okay, we just gonna make it do what do our best. And then they got to a point where they were successful.
Mhm.
And then one of two things would happen. Either they just realized like, oh, this is bad. And it got to the point where somebody else needs to take this over because I don't have the capacity to do it.
Mhm.
Or they were going for some kind of funding, finding an investor, a loan, something like that.
Mhm.
And it's really embarrassing to like go to a lender and like have them give them your stuff and they're like, something in your books is wrong.
Mhm.
Like I had someone come to me and say, I went to a lender and I gave them all my financials and they were like, You need to call an accountant because something is wrong because your balance sheet, all the numbers that should be positive are negative,
Mhm.
and I don't know what you did, but you messed that up. So then I have to come in and clean it up. And I will come in and clean it up, but that's expensive.
Right.
Like me, a cleanup project starts at 3 grand just because of the number of hours that it will take for me to clean a situation up. So a
That
cleanup
is
project can be
expensive.
anywhere from three. I think the most expensive one I've ever did was $13,000. And honestly, I'm still working on that one. I've been working on it for months. Um, It's just really, really bad. But if the things were a common denominator that I see is that if things were set up properly in the beginning
Mhm.
and people were trained about how it was supposed to be done,
Mhm.
it would have eliminated the
Some of
need
the
for these cleanups later on down the line. And
yeah.
so I want people to have that ability to be set up properly and to understand how the system is supposed to work so that later someone doesn't have to come back in and you had to spend all this money cleaning it up. So that's kind of bare level. And then we just kind of go up from there
Mm.
on needs and what's going on and things like that.
So you actually inspired me. After talking with you, I like looked at my QuickBooks and looked at how much it cost. Was like, "Ugh." I've been in a down period in my business a lot. I'm working to get out of it. It's not always easy, which is okay, you know. But I did start an in like an what do I call it? Like a budget sheet or a sheet to track where my money is going in and out on numbers, which is like Excel.
And and I will accept Excel or Google Sheets.
Okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
will take that in the beginning. Um, because I understand that hey, QuickBooks does cost money.
Mhm.
Having me come set it up does cost money.
Mhm.
But you need to check these things,
Yeah.
you know, so
I'm glad
that
I
you have
started.
an accurate understanding of what's going on. And so I will definitely accept what I do not recommend people doing. I know there are a ton of people online, like on Etsy and stuff,
Mhm.
budget sheets. I would not buy those.
Mm.
And the reason that I would say not to buy them is because you are working from a hope that these formulas and stuff are correct.
Mhm.
But we don't know that for real.
Right.
So I don't want people spending money,
Mhm.
when you have those, they have all kind of stuff that they've done in the background. So if you can't go in here, fiddle with it and stuff like that, well, comes to find out something is wrong. The whole thing is wrong. So I would rather you in Excel just like these are my transactions and do it and give them a category. I'll take that. That's fine.
'Cause that's what I'm doing, and it's I'm learning that my money isn't adding up, which is important for me to be like, "Hmm, why does it say I should have more and I don't? Let me be more vigilant in this. Let me pay more attention to what is because I sometimes I don't, which is one of the reasons why I switched to budget enveloping because when the money is in your account and it's just digitally coming out, you don't pay attention.
Yeah, because it's not in your hand.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, I can't do budget enveloping because it was irritating to me. Like, it was too much prep work, but I
It
think
is a
that's
lot of
for
prep
me, like,
work.
I had again, I have little kids, stuff
Mhm.
like I had a lot going on. I was like, "I ain't got time for this." And I gotta go to the bank and get all this money
Yep.
and break it up. I can't do
Yep.
that. But I'm also so, like, as a 17, 18-year-old, I had a very elaborate spreadsheet, like, in
Mhm.
Excel that I used until about 5 years ago. And
Mhm.
every year I would just make a new one, and everything ran through there. Um, Now I created I have a whole QuickBooks subscription for my house
Mhm.
because that's the
That's what you
software
use.
that makes the most sense to me. So,
Mhm.
like, I've used, like, the budgeting softwares that they make for people, and
Mhm.
I hate them all. I hate all of them for me
Right.
because I'm accustomed to being in actual accounting software
Mhm.
and have the ability to do certain things that those systems will not allow me to do. So I have like a separate company under my QuickBooks accounting set that is just for my house.
Mhm.
And that's the way I do it. But I think for a lot of people, like you said, like right now for you, the envelope system is fun,
Mhm.
right?
I need the dopamine hit.
Right. And prayerfully that doesn't wear off for you. I think for a lot of people, why budgeting is hard and why they fail is because they use it as a punishment instead of as a tool. So,
Damn.
like, you're like, in your mind, you're like, "Okay, it's a new year. I gotta get this together. Imma make this budget. Imma stick to this budget." But the budget is not realistic based off what is actually happening in your life,
Mhm.
right? So, what I would say to do is to first just track what you're doing.
Mhm.
Behave like you do on a normal day and just track it.
Mhm.
And then once you track it, you can really see what's happening.
Mhm.
At that point, you can say, okay, I need to make some changes. This is what historically has occurred.
Mhm.
And this is where I'm going to make change and make little changes incrementally
Yeah.
rather than I'm going to do something completely different
Right.
and think
That is gonna fix everything.
it's going to fix everything because it's not. Because it's going to be like, oh, this worked for about 6 weeks. And then it all fell apart after that. Um, Even like I know from like our life, because again, like I said, I've been with my husband, we've been at this for 22 years at this point.
Mhm.
We've had numerous instances we've gotten large sums of money
Mhm.
and we're like, oh, okay, we're gonna pay off all our debt
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
fix all of this and
da 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 da. But you didn't learn any discipline from that. So because you didn't learn any discipline from it and you continue to be who you were, the
you
same
still
thing
ended up at
happened
the
again.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that
It's yeah,
sorry,
I
go
think
ahead.
that's what people are missing is like you have to know who you are and be
Mhm.
realistic.
So for me, I have on again, off again tried budgeting. Just more like tracking. Where my money going? How much am I gonna have left? Where do I wanna put it? And I did really well until I didn't have money.
Okay.
And I know that that's a thing that is common, right? But one of my other issues is that and it's a cycle when you stop having money depending on where you are. So I'm a person I'm on like Lexapro, I'm on Boostpar, undiagnosed ADD. So shopping for me is a dopamine hit, and I've noticed that if I'm having a really bad day, I'm either going to buy sushi or pizza or I'm going to buy myself something. And it makes me feel good. And I try to be She's like, "I don't do crazy big payments. You won't see me out here with a Coach bag. I don't get it." Usually it's makeup,
Just something.
just something, right? Or I'll go into the store, and then when I'm in the store for this one thing, I'll walk past and be like, "Ooh, look at that. This is fancy." So I have been paying attention to it for a long time. My wake up call was my bankruptcy, and that's kind of how I landed on here. I also know that because I'm neurodivergent, things have to be tangible for me. The whole out of sight, out of mind thing. So I would spend money and then look at my account and be like, "What the frick happened?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, well," and it's always little for me, it's my thing is little amounts, right? So be like, "Oh, well, today you did go to Chipotle, and then after that you did stop by Ulta, and then after that you did go to Target, and then after that you did put gas in your car. Now you have $150 less than you thought you were going to have." And so for me, it's another way to like track myself. It's a way to save,
Mhm.
but it's also a way to track myself and to be more cognizant of where I'm putting my money to. So
So for
I'm not like, some people will create budgets and they won't give themselves a spending budget, which I think is just the stupidest thing in the world. Like creating a budget where you don't have money to spend for things is just setting yourself up for failure because you're going to want things.
you really can't make it happen, then
Yeah.
okay, fine.
And I mean, so for me that when I did it for this paycheck, I was it, and I also have like an internal prosperity abundance, fear of things like not being there or whatever. And so I did it and I had like $10 for spending money. I'm lucky. I work at a brewery, so I make tips and most of my tips go towards my check, but my cash tips are mine. So what I usually do to make that up is like, okay, well, the cash tips that I make for these next 2 weeks will be my spending money. That's a blessing that I have. The problem is that it varies. I can
Right.
make a whole bunch of money, I can make not. But I had to remind myself, okay, maybe you don't have enough spending money, but you did put $10 aside for makeup. You did put $10 aside for your essentials. You did put money aside for your car. You have money aside to get your hair done. You have money aside to get your nails done. You have money aside to pay for the other things that you want to make your life what you feel like is full are paid for. And instead of focusing on, I don't have money to buy, I don't know. I actually have a little bit of money, so I'm gonna go buy, like I said, the next binder from Hobby Lobby or whatever. But instead of focusing on, oh, I don't have enough money to go buy these washi tapes because I love journaling. I don't have enough money to buy this washi tapes. I could reframe and say, but I do have enough money to do all these things though. And those are the important things. And if I can't spend all this money for this paycheck, maybe it'll be different next paycheck, you know? You never know. But it was something that kind of started off as a little bit of punitive in my mind, like, I gotta get my shit together, but I am trying to find ways for it to not end that way.
I think, like, when I think about like I said, I can't do the envelopes, it was just too much.
Mhm,
What I think something that works well for people who also kinda feel that way is,
mhm.
like, to set up separate bank accounts. So, like
Well, I used to do that too.
for me, I know everything that has to be paid in my house,
Mhm,
right? And so everything that has to be paid in my house, there's an account that money goes into that account.
mhm,
And then any additional money or money that we can just willy-nilly spend, we have separate bank accounts for that.
mhm.
So, like, my
Yeah.
husband has accounts, I have accounts, and then, like, for me, like, I'm a big online shopper, okay? My husband tells me all the time that sometimes our house look like we are running an Amazon scam out of it. He has said that to me many a times over the course of our life.
Amazon is the
So
best dopamine hit ever.
I got so bad, it got to the point that, like, I would forget that I ordered things,
My mom.
and they would come and be like, "What is this? I didn't
I
order
know.
anything."
What is this random thing appearing in my house?
And then I open it and be like, "I forgot about this." So, like, I have certain cards that I use for certain things.
Mhm,
And so that's another way that I separate stuff from my stuff. Like all the bills, all that stuff, that's cool, that's taken care of, that's over here.
mhm.
And then we can do fun stuff over here.
Yeah.
And I think for people that is another like mental thing. Like you said, like all your stuff is taken care of, like the important things,
Mhm.
and then you can do these other things with like your tip money or whatever. I think if people do the same thing with like different checking accounts,
Mhm.
it works kind of the same way. Like, okay, all your bills and stuff are cool.
Mhm.
Um, and then this other money that's over here, if you spend this money, you're not messing up none of your home stuff.
Mhm.
Because I think the bigger thing is that like when people get into kind of like you get into a slump,
Mhm.
right? Or you get upset and then you need that dopamine hit. So you go spend some money, but then like you spent
You
a
spin
lot
it
of
out of
your
it.
money, right? And so then that starts into like a shame cycle and then like you're spiraling and
Mhm.
da 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 da. No, you didn't do that. Matter of fact, you don't even have a card to your bill account. Like
Mhm.
everything just comes out, either you bill pay it out or they auto whatever,
Mhm.
that's over there. And if you do mess up, okay, you messed up your spending money. So like maybe you can't buy the thing that you were planning on buying.
Mhm.
That's cool. That's fine. That was a want. It wasn't a necessity of your life. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think like I know for us, like my husband turned over all his financial stuff to me about 3 months after we started dating.
I would have too.
Um
In fact,
he wa-
take all my money now. You're in control.
he said he said he was like, yeah, these are all accounts. I put you he took me to the bank. Like I didn't know what was going on. He was like, this is all my accounts. These are all the logins. I got you cards put in your name. Here's all the things. These are the things need to be paid. And outside of
Mhm.
that, do whatever you want to do. And it's been like that since we were 18. And so there's always gonna be I think in a relationship, there's always gonna be one that doesn't really know what's going on.
Mhm.
And they're just like, I don't know what's happening. My husband doesn't know what day he gets paid on. He has no idea.
I love this for him. I want to live that life.
He has no idea. And we've laughed because people have worked who work with him and said stuff like, well, how do you know your wife isn't stealing from you? He said, well, she would be stealing from herself. So that's her business. I don't care. He was like, that got nothing to do with me. And he was like, hey, that's on her. I don't
He's
care.
he says she would be stealing from herself because we
That's he
live
said.
together, so the money she takes is just money taken from things that we were gonna do. Like, I love that. I think that there's, Jay Shetty, he wrote this book, 8 Rules of Love, and one of the chapters of the book talked about having the hard conversations, and that's something that I've heard you kind of say that you and your husband had pretty early on into the relationship, and it's such a smart thing to do, is to really look at. I mean, it comes with clarity and understanding and knowing, which not a lot of people have. So kudos to you being at 18, like, this is what I want.
I was very clear. Like, this is what I would like to happen. Yeah.
But I think that is such an important thing because knowing what you want means you know what to look for and what not to look for. And knowing what you want means that you can tell people exactly what it is and they can make an informed decision and you don't waste the time that it takes for people to get in a relationship and fall in love and then say, so what about your finances? And then find out that you're dating a gambler or someone who
Now,
loves
I would
Bitcoin.
not recommend, like, I would not tell my children,
Mhm.
oh yeah, do what your dad did, and just let some
Just
random
put her name
person
on all the
you
accounts.
don't know like that take over. I would not recommend that to my children. However, and I was talking to my therapist about this yesterday. Actually,
Mhm.
she asked me, she was like, "You've been with your husband since you were 18." I said, "Yes," and she said, "When did you know that this was the person that you were going to spend your life with?" And I was like, "I knew from the beginning. I knew within like 2 weeks." I was like, "Oh yeah," and I started planning our life out at that point.
Mhm.
And he's just but it was something I kept to myself, and then he started asking questions like, "Well, what do you want our life to look like? What do you want, da, da, da?" And so we've had this conversation, but we've also grown up together, essentially.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to meet someone your freshman year of college and 20 plus years later, you're still with that person. You were children, essentially,
Right.
and you grew together. Which is why I say, like, I don't know, I doubt very seriously I would ever get married again if something was to happen to him, or, we would get divorced, which I don't see us getting divorced, but if he was to die
Yeah.
abruptly or something like that, I don't see myself getting remarried because I don't see myself having the ability to rebuild a life with someone else, having built this life with him over the last 22 years.
Right.
Um, and I think that it's just a very clear point in my life. And I think that applies to a lot of things. Like I think it applies to money too. Like I don't think people have money problems. I think they have a clarity problem. Like they don't know what's happening. And if you don't know what's happening, you can't make sound decisions.
Right.
So like you have to have these conversations. Like you have to, chit chat about these things. Like before we had even had kids, we had a lot of conversations about how we were going to raise our kids and stuff like that. Now, did any of those things end up being true? No, no. How we actually raise our children is very, very different than what we
Mhm.
discussed. Um, we were very dead set that we were going to be like these disciplined. We don't even really yell at our kids. Okay, they feelings be hurt.
Phyllis be hurt. It's the
It-
best.
They're very sensitive children, and so like I can't raise my voice without like someone being near tears. Because they're like, and my oldest son will say, he was like, "Mom, you're scary when you yell." I'm like, "I don't yell at y'all."
Just like, I don't know what you mean. You've never heard me do this.
I'm like, "Yeah, I don't yell at y'all." I'm like, I'm frustrated sometimes, and so maybe I get louder, but I'm not yelling.
Yeah.
Not like I grew up, here yelling. I'm like, I'm not yelling. Um, yeah, everything that we said was because
Just went out the
how we
window.
actually treat them is very, very different than all the things we discussed. And that's okay. You can make plans, right?
Mhm.
And then the plans don't happen. Or you pivot
You have
and
to
it's
always
fine,
change. Mhm.
as long as you know that you're pivoting.
Yeah,
Because there's a difference between pivoting and falling off a cliff. That's two different things.
I agree. 'Cause I fell off a cliff until I pivoted. I was like, I can't keep falling. Let me pivot." So as we come to a close, what is something that you as the year is starting, and I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but a lot of people do, and sometimes you have to meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. We talked about that earlier. For people's personal finances and small business finances, what is one piece of advice that you would give to them if they're looking to restart in the new year?
I would say it's a little bit for each one, it's a little bit different. So I would
Mhm,
say on the individual side, I would say that you have to at least bare minimum know what's happening. So
mhm,
like you don't have to make a budget. If you're not ready for that, that's cool. But at least track what's happening
mhm,
so that you have an idea of like where things are going, right? And then you can make other decisions from there, but you should
mhm.
at least know base level
Yeah.
what is occurring. And I think from a small business side, kind of the same thing, but a little bit different. Small business side, you have to know what's occurring
Mhm,
because you have to pay your taxes, right? Like if you own this business, like no one is withholding your taxes from you
mhm,
out of a paycheck. Like you have to know what's happening to be able to file your tax returns correctly. And so what happens when you have no idea is like things are either going a lot worse or a lot better than you thought,
mhm,
and that can be bad from two different perspectives. So like you can either be doing a lot better than you thought,
mhm.
and now you owe a whole bunch of money,
Right.
or you can be doing a lot worse than you thought, and it's like maybe you need to reevaluate if this is the right route for you. The other thing, on the business side, or just anything, if you are going into tax, because we're getting into tax season, which is my favorite time of the year, if you know every year you owe the IRS money,
Mhm,
don't wait until April 13th to
mhm,
contact somebody about doing your taxes. And the reason that I say that specifically for people who owe all the time
Mhm.
is it's better to get your taxes done earlier than later
I do mine early.
because your taxes is due on April 15th, no matter when you file them returns. So
Mhm.
people think if they file an extension, that is an extension on when the payment is due. It is not. It just means that they will not assess you a failure to file penalty. That's all that that means.
Mhm.
But they start charging interest and penalties from April 16th. So if you do them earlier, then you give yourself time to figure out
What you gonna
some
do?
what you're gonna do, right? Whether that be, hey, is it a way that I can get this money together to pay it by April 15th? Or am I gonna need to do an installment plan with the IRS?
Mhm.
That. But waiting until the last possible second
It's not
is
a
not
good move.
is not a good move. And then a lot of times if you reach out to somebody, they're gonna charge you a rush fee. Like there are other things that can happen when you wait to the last possible second. And I understand that people are afraid. And so that's why they're like, I don't even want to think about it. It's going to be bad. Blah, blah, blah. Also, if you do it early in the year, it might be some things that you missed, that you can talk to your tax preparer about and maybe get the paperwork together. There's some things that you miss that could potentially lower your tax liability, but because you under the gun, because you waited to the last possible second, people don't have time to have conversations and talk about what else might have happened, and they don't have time for that.
Mhm.
So do not wait to the last possible second. Because, like, I know I'm going out of town April 13th. And so if you call me and be like, yeah, I'm going to file these extensions, but I'm not going to be able to talk to you till after 15th anyway.
Yeah. Like, give me when I get back.
I can file this extension for you and
Mhm.
talk about it when I get back. But that's all I got for you because I'm going to be in Vegas.
Yeah. All right. So if anyone from listening to you're very insightful and I've learned stuff and like I said, you've changed how I'm doing my finances for business. If anyone wants to reach out to you, how do they find you?
Easiest way to find me is just to go to the website. So it's www.pilotmg.com. So like pilot, like an airplane pilot, M as in Mary, G as in
Mhm.
giraffe.com. There is a lovely little button on the upper right-hand corner that
Mhm.
says schedule a consultation. And so I like to talk to people.
Mhm.
Um, just so that they can get a feel for me, I can get a feel for them, and I can ask a couple questions about what's going on.
Mhm.
I'm very transparent in everything that I do. So like my prices are set. You get a price sheet. I email them people. It's the whole thing. But I
Mhm.
like to get an understanding about a little bit what's going on in the situation like that. So they're like 30 minutes. Um, Schedule a consultation and we will go from there. It's pretty
Okay.
easy peasy. If you're on LinkedIn, I have a very unique name. So there's you're not gonna find another Kelly Pilot out there. Um, I do post like once a week. I try to post like little droplets of knowledge about things.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm out here debunking common myths and bad information that people hear on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
So
So
that's how you
cool.
find me.
Well, thank you so much. I've had so much fun doing this with you. It was a blast.
I was like, yeah, when she realizes I don't know who any of these people are, this is gonna be interesting.
It's honestly so okay because I've had people come on because not every there are so many fascinating people in this world to talk to. Not all of them keep up with pop culture. So I love actually getting to explain some of the backstory to
Yeah,
them.
I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. Jesus.
And sometimes it's better because I always like for it to be intellectual commentary and not just gossip.
Mm,
So you don't have to know who they are to be able to talk about the topics. That's what I hope it to
right.
be for the
Fair
most
enough.
part.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But it was a blast. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Pure Tifa Podcast.